Open the Chrome browser. Navigate to the tutorial page. The link is in the description. Download the 3 images and follow the steps as shown in Lesson 10. Open Visual Studio Code. If you successfully follow the steps in Lesson 10, you can see the new images you download inside the Explorer. Let's delete off the function we have created in previous lesson and do a different thing so we can add our player. Create a new empty image, with the name, player. Now we will create a new type of variable, an array. Let's remember, to store an element inside a variable, first we write the keyword var, followed by a name we choose, followed by equals. If it is text, we open curly brackets and inside we write our text. Array is a variable, which can store more than one element. First we write the keyword var. Write the name you choose. Then write equals, followed by square brackets. Notice there is a difference between writing a function and an array. Functions use curly brackets. Arrays use square brackets. Inside the square brackets we write our elements. Open quotation marks. Write a value, let's say Alex, close quotation marks. To separate elements inside an array, we use comma. So, insert a comma. Now write the other elements you want, all inside square brackets, and separated by comma. So we start with the keyword var. Remember, arrays are variables too, but they can store more than one element. After we write the name we choose, followed by equals, we open square brackets, followed by quotation marks, and inside we write our element. After we write a comma to separate the next element. The next elements are written with the same method. The last element of an array does not need a comma. In this example we store 3 elements. Notice, the first element of an array is at index 0, the second is at index 1, and so on. This means that the first element is indexed as 0, the second as 1, and the third as 2. You can access an array element by referring to the index number. For example, if we write the index 0 of the array, it gives us the name Alex. Write our array name equals to index 0. The result is Alex. If we change the index to 2, can you guess the result? It is Greg. You can store functions, numbers, text and other objects inside an array. So, let's create an array and give the name player moves. Open square brackets. Inside quotation marks, write the names of our player images. Add a comma. And continue with the rest 2 images. Be careful of the spelling. So, we have created an array with name player moves, which we store the image names of our character. Indexing as 0, 1, and 2. Change line. Now, like we have referred to an image previously in the background image, we will do the same to our player. But now for source image we will write the array, player moves. Open square brackets and write inside the number 0. That number refers to index 0 of the array. It means that the image source of our player is idle 0. In the previous lesson we use the onload event. This event occurs only when our background image is loaded. Now we will use the onload event when the entire page loads, including all our images. So, in the previous lesson we use the onload event to run a function when the image has been loaded. Using the windows with the onload event, JavaScript runs a function when all the page has been loaded. Write windows dot onload equals to. In previous lesson we learned that the structure of a function is as shown. There's another simple syntax for creating functions, called arrow function. The syntax is as shown. This function has some limitation but we will learn all of that in another lesson. We open parenthesis, followed by equals, followed by angle bracket. After we open and close curly bracket, and inside we write our code. Write window dot onload equals. Let's write the arrow function. Open curly brackets, put the pointer inside, using the arrow keys, and press enter, to make space to write our code. Now let's draw the background image in our canvas, like we did in the previous lesson. Change line. As we can see, the background image appears in our canvas. Now, do the same for our player image. For source image we use our player variable, which contains the images in the array. Let's write the coordinates, 40, for axis X, and 50, for axis Y. As you can see, our player appears on screen. Let's correct his position by changing the values of the coordinates. You can place the player in any position you like, by changing this values. But remember you must not exceed the dimension of the canvas, because the player will be placed outside the canvas, and we won't be able to see him. Let's go to the player variable, and change the index number that the player source reads from our array. You see that if we change the number from 0 to 2, the player's movement changes. But if we write a number that is not in the index of the array, there is no picture to show. In the next lesson we will learn how to animate our player.